Hello, everyone. Before we begin today's show, we just want to take a moment to extend our just heartfelt sadness out to the Graz community out there in Austria. The current count for people who have died in the mass shooting is 10. By the time you listen to this podcast, that number might be higher based on the folks who are in the hospital. But our hearts just go out to the families, to the victims, obviously, and we just hope that Austria is able to, put some things in place to ensure that this doesn't happen moving forward. Because thoughts and prayers can only go so far. But again, we feel so bad. We know as Americans what it's like. It's not good for any community anywhere in the world. And so again, our hearts here at Fourth Down Fiasco go out to the Graz community out there in Austria.
Fires, Mike Sims, Walker, knocked down.
Oh my God! Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game.
In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again.
Jackson takes it himself. Look at him turn back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles.
I have never seen this before in my life.
Still looking, firing, near corner. It's caught!
Denver, unbelievable!
And welcome to the Fourth Down Fiasco!
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fourth Down Fiasco, your go-to podcast for all things football, brought to you by BetStamp. BetStamp is the sports bookie of all sports bookies. Yes, they have everything from BetMGM, Bet365, Caesars, FanDuel, every big name sports bookie you can think of in one place. You can check them out at signupexpert.com/fiasco. And I do want to highlight one of them real quick. Check out Bet365 because currently they have lines for the European League of Football. And so I know that there's access in the UK. I believe there's also other countries in Europe as well that have access to the ELF betting through Bet365. Go to signupexpert.com/fiasco to check that out, because today, like every day during this time of year, we are talking about the European League of Football. I have my co-host Danny Weber with me. Danny, what are your initial thoughts about Week 6?
It was all over the place.
Yeah.
We had some really good games and some really bad games.
Yes. Well, tell me which game, I know which one wasn't your favorite, but tell me which game was your favorite of this week.
Honestly, the Vienna Rheinfire was the favorite game of the week. It was just a classic.
Yeah.
It's what I think everyone hoped the championship game would have been.
Right.
And not just the blowout it was.
Yeah. So, it was a close affair, 33-26. Rheinfire goes into Vienna. This is the first home loss Vienna's ever had, right? As far as since the European League of Football has been around, right?
I know they went 10-2 the first year.
But I thought that both of those were away losses.
But yeah, I don't remember if it was or not. Let me see.
Yeah, pull that up real quick. While you're doing that, I'll just rattle off some stats, because this game made absolutely zero sense. Like, when you look at the box score, it seems like there's one team that should have won. Ben Holmes, 296 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked 5 times. But yeah, all 3 touchdown passes going to Reese Horn, who had 159 yards. Defense, again, had a decent day, 5 sacks. They also had an interception from Lalo. But then you go to the Rheinfire side of things. Chad Jeffries, 174 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked 4 times. He did also have a rushing touchdown as well. But it's just one of those things of you're like, where did all these points come from? There was a lot of kicking. As well as, Ryan just found other ways to win, whether if it was through special teams, a lot of special teams, timely stops, and just kind of did their thing. Do you have it pulled up, Danny?
It looks like it's just away losses.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so Rheinfire hands the Vienna Vikings their first home loss since the ELF's inception.
Which is wild.
Yeah, absolutely nuts.
And first regular season loss since their inaugural season.
Yeah, which is bonkers. And I do just want to, I know you and I talked about this off script, Danny, but I am the only insider, and not just on Fourth Down Fiasco. I'm the only insider, period, out of all of them. Matt Brezington, Alex Malchow, like all the insiders,
Everyone who released a pick'em picked Vienna.
Everyone who released a pick'em got it wrong except me. So,
and he did it only despite me, is my guess.
No, I genuinely thought that they know that they can't be in a 3-loss hole right now with how the playoff race is looking. And so I figured that they would just bring their A game, and they absolutely did. And they scratched and clawed their way to the finish line, but they got across.
They probably listened to our episode last week with Tanner and I talking about how if you go to 3 losses, you're out of the playoffs. And they're like, we can't do that.
Yeah, so Rhine Fire, if y'all could, I would appreciate a jersey signed by, some of my favorite players. Friend of the pod, Tony Anderson. I'll take a Quofi signature while I'm at it because that dude balls out. My boy Jordan Bois, even though he's hurt. So yeah, I'll send y'all my address, but I want that team jersey since I believe in the franchise still.
Wow. Okay.
But okay, so besides the Rhine Fire Vienna Vikings game, any other games stand out to you, Daniel?
Mr. Matt Brezington's Prague Lions, 3-2.
Winning record for the first time in franchise history?
More combined wins this year than their entire existence?
Oh, man, I love, I know we've talked about it before that this Prague team, I still don't have them high in my power rankings. Like, I think that if they go up against, some of the mid-tier teams, they're going to lose. But God damn it, are they fun?
Are fun.
And they have a winning record right now. Part of it's just they've had a very favorable schedule thus far. But
sometimes
man, oh man. Hey, sometimes favorable schedule gets you places. And I couldn't be more proud of Matt Brezington's Prague Lions.
If you're looking how to rebuild, follow Prague.
Follow Prague.
Best in O-line.
Cologne, please take a page out of Prague's book because we're
just call Matt and he'll fix your team for you. He's doing it, I think, for free on his Instagram anyways.
Yeah. And dear God, Cologne needs some help. Cologne lost to the Stuttgart Surge 88-7. That's not a Madden game score. That's not some bullshit that you hear off of a video game. Stuttgart beat Cologne 88-7, which is the second worst beatdown in ELF history.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I guess by score, yeah. Right behind last year's Barcelona Dragons, 90-0.
I blacked out the second half of that season. It doesn't exist.
This score could have been a lot worse.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Hennessy threw the ball 5 times.
I was going to say they pulled Hennessy within half the first quarter.
He threw the ball 5 times for 82 yards for 2 touchdowns. I think he just didn't want to be, the big dog of the week.
Yeah, he did.
He's like, nah, I can't.
He did message us and said, "Don't you dare make me big dog if I go crazy against the Centurions." And we were like, "But if you
should post one tomorrow anyways, just to see his reaction." 82 yards and 2 touchdowns, Mr. Riley Hennessy.
And I legitimately think that those were the only 2 drives that he played. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that they put in whoever the backup for Stuttgart is.
Oh, no, he had at least 3 drives.
Okay. Did one end in a punt?
Oh, no, he actually played into the second.
Really?
Because, I'm looking at the scoring plays, and it was rushing touchdown, Hennessy touchdown, rushing touchdown, Hennessy touchdown, rushing touchdown.
I know he didn't play the second half.
No.
At all, which I don't blame them. There's no reason whatsoever to risk his health against Cologne, because football's still football. You can accidentally tear an ACL doing some stupid shit. Achilles. Yep. You can get concussed just from a shit team even. But, Yeah, Cologne needs to figure some things out because this is unfortunately familiar territory for us, i.e. the Barcelona Dragons. And it's just not good for the league. It's not, it's better to, if they need to be relegated, just like, I know Barcelona wasn't like forcefully relegated, but that needs to happen to Cologne. Either that or a massive overhaul, one of the two. Because
they need to figure something out, yeah.
Yeah, they either need to have a massive change in ownership and player personnel and, scrap this season and hope for the best next, or they need to just not exist because this, when we're trying to get people excited about the European League of Football and they're watching a game and it ends 88-7 and the E import quarterback looks like an A import quarterback because of how bad your team is, that's not okay. And, there were some other more lopsided affairs this week, which happens. But, at least we're talking about, Munich Ravens 35, Berlin Thunder 12, Paris Musketeers 35, Frankfurt Galaxy 16, which was actually a close game midway.
Yeah, that was a really good game until Paris pulled out in the second half.
Yeah, but like you can have some double-digit wins and it still be fun games and them still be a relatively high quality product on the field, but 88-7 is inexcusable.
Yeah, I mean, even the Nordic game against Wroclaw, that was 47-19, but it was 24-13 at halftime. It was 0-0 going into the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was still a good game.
Mm-hmm.
And then second half adjustments were won by the Storm.
Yeah, man, do they look good.
Talking about ownership, do you see the rant that the Berlin Thunder's owner had?
No.
Blaming fans for not coming to the game and not supporting the team and da-da-da-da-da.
Bro, then play better.
Yeah, seriously. Why aren't you coming to support us? Because you suck?
Yeah, it's just like, the Colorado Rockies are so incredibly bad.
Yeah.
And majority of the people that show up to those games are the away team's fans.
Yeah.
Don't suck.
He's like, we have 1,000 tickets sold for our game against the defending champs. It's like, maybe be better and more people will show up. Yeah,
like at least be able to put up a fight,
But what about the showing in Vienna? Talking about attendance, over 11,000, a record for a Vienna home game.
Hell yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now it does suck that those 11,000 fans walked away very upset.
What a really good game.
Great for the league.
They were spoiled. They haven't seen a regular season loss in years.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay seeing one regular season loss in 4 years.
It just happens to be the team that beat you. Less than
I know that they have to have like some like little voodoo dolls of like Rhine Fire players at home that they just be jabbing with needles and shit.
I bet we could call Ben and be like, "Hey, what are you doing to help your medicate your loss?"
But yeah, there was plenty of decent games this week. Again, the Rhine Fire Vienna Vikings game was phenomenal. Frankfurt versus Paris was good up until about the fourth quarter. Raiders Tyrol blowout Helvetic Mercenaries, though. The Nordic Storm Wroclaw game was decent until about midway through the third, where the Nordic Storm they look good.
The Raiders have 3 of the top 5 rushing touchdown leaders, by the way.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
That's wild.
Minotti, Hazelvanter, and what's the third guy's name?
I forget.
Oh, well, that's poor journalism on our end.
Sorry, we don't know the third string running back for Tyrol. My bad. Here, let's find it.
I'm working on that MVP article right now, and it's hard because it's like I was actually legitimately looking at like
Weishauer.
It's who?
Weishauer, Bonatti, and Hausvanter.
Like I was looking, because I always like having my dark horses and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to figure out a way to get, some of the Raiders Tyrol guys involved. And it's like they alone don't have enough, they have really good stats, but not MVP stats. But it's like when you combine the 3 of them together, they are just a well-oiled machine, man.
It's like Weishauer has 28 attempts and has 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Whereas like Hausvanter has 82 and 6, and Bonatti has 65 and 5.
It's just ridiculous. Those three in tandem together.
Good luck.
And so it's almost like I wish I could just, say these three guys should combine for an equal MVP award together.
Yeah, seriously. Can we talk about a hot start real quick? What about Jadrian Clark? 22 touchdowns to 0 interceptions.
I thought he had one in the Vroslav game.
I don't think so.
You sure?
Oh, he did have a pick. I missed.
He ruined it.
Still, 22-1 on the season is wild.
Ridiculous. And the one interception he threw was like a 50-50 ball that like he was just throwing it up for funsies. He had 6 touchdowns this game, and so he knew he was going to win. I'm sure he was like, it'd be cool if I could fit this in there,
Yeah.
I don't think it was necessarily a bad read. I think he was just like, screw it.
It was going to Botello Moreno anyway, so
yeah, right. So,
he's hot hand.
Yeah, and it got caught by the defense. It happens. I don't think he's sweating that one. So yeah, 22 to 1.
Care about one pick in a blowout game.
22-1 touchdown to interception ratio is just nuts.
Stupid.
Yeah. So, but I think that should be a good transition for us to talk about our awards for this week. So,
snap.
With the Big Dog Performance of the Week award, we actually have a co-award, don't we, Daniel?
For the second time?
Yeah, for the second time.
But we have a 2-time winner.
Yes, a 2-time winner that's part of the co-award. So, yes, Jadrian Clark with his 6 touchdowns is on it. But there was no way that we couldn't add Adrian Botello Moreno to the list with his 4 touchdowns.
4 times.
Out of Jadrian's 6? That's nuts. Go big
4
man,
tutties
go.
by a tight end is wild.
Go big man, go. So, yeah, Botello Moreno and Jadrian Clark together in tandem win our Big Dog of the Week because just the dominance that they had against a decent Vroslav team that I think they're better than their 2-3 record.
No, they are. They've just had tough competition.
Yeah, they've had to play some really damn good teams, and it's just like Prague has benefited from a lighter schedule, Vroslav has benefited from a shitty schedule.
We do say that. Prague and Vroslav played each other.
True.
Prague won 45-13.
So, but they didn't have Irons that game, right?
No, yeah, he was the Fiasco Player of the Week.
So right, I forgot about that. Oops.
My bad.
Yeah. But hey, he did get his redemption being the Big Dog of the Week the next week.
Against Cologne. But yeah.
Just because they're a D2 school doesn't mean the D1 guys can't enjoy it.
All right, who's our unsung?
Our unsung, we had some deliberations over it, but there's really only one person that it could go to, and that's Lautaro Freccia. Danny, do you have his game stats handy on you?
9 tackles.
Ooh.
2 tackles for loss.
Ooh.
2 pass breakups.
Ooh.
And 2 picks.
Oh, including the what?
The game sealer, game ender?
Oh, man. Yeah, that is – it doesn't get much more unsung than that. Freccia, the former Barcelona Dragon, one of the only good players that we had on that team, did his thing and, has really been working his ass off out there in Prague along with some of those other dudes. And, people are going to look at that game and kind of just say that it was a collective effort. And it definitely was in order to win. But Freccia definitely deserves his flowers for sure.
Very much so.
Yeah. I mean, that's a 6 stat line. I mean, you had 2 tackles for loss. You had 2 pass breakups and 2 interceptions. Like that's a performance.
Yeah. And
that is really good.
Led the team in tackles, tied with 9.
Yeah.
So he's all over the place.
And he's a safety, yeah. So just hats off to you, my guy. I'm glad that you're no longer in Barcelona and that you're on a team that currently has a winning record for the first time in their history. So exciting times for Prague. This is Prague's second. Oh, no. He won big dog of the week. I was gonna say this is the second unsung hero, but no.
Willie P.
Yeah, Willie P won big dog of the week. I forgot about it. But hey, this is the second positive award that has been given to Prague this year from the FBF crew. So if you can't tell, we are very high on y'all, Prague, and I hope that you continue to improve.
We're high on you until this week.
We'll get to there when we get to there. So,
but someone / organization we're not high on. Back-to-back organizational weeks?
Oh, it's so hard because it's like this is intended to be a player award.
It was supposed to be an A import award, actually. Not a whole league, specifically American.
A imports, and we haven't done a great job of that. But
no,
is what it is. But this is now
sometimes bad overshadows bad.
Yeah. And this award has manifested into an absolute nightmare because there's no other way to say it other than the fiasco players of the week is the entire Cologne roster. 88-7. Like there's no way that we can justify giving it to a singular person, especially because, yeah.
The whole team was bad. No offense, no defense, no special teams.
No, nothing. Like, I get it. Stuttgart is, one of the top 3 teams in this league. Stuttgart has a legitimate chance to win the championship this year. But come on. 88-7. That is, I think I could probably put together a team that could be more competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Grabbing guys off the streets. Like, it's... Like I'm about to go through the box score here for Cologne, and McCormick Reamer, I guess 2 picks.
The homegrown quarterback had better stats than the A import quarterback.
Yeah, but I'm looking. He had a terrible performance at quarterback. 111 yards, 113 completions out of 27 attempts, 1 TUD. 2 picks, but he was sacked 8 times. So it's like it's not his fault, And then I'm looking at all the rushing stuff, and he averaged 2.1 yards per play. Weitz averaged 1 yard per carry.
They had 18 rushing attempts for 14 yards.
That is absurd. Yeah, it's just I'm looking at Garcia over here, and 2 attempts for -6 yards, and everyone was just bad. The only person who, Alteus, I guess, deserves to at least not be quite in the same category because he had 3 tackles for loss. So it's like at least he was doing something. But
you can throw Osborne in there. He had 5 catches for 65 yards and tutty.
True.
But
yeah.
Not really.
Bad. Riley Hennessy, 5 of 5, 82 yards, 2 tuds. 5 of 5.
That's stupid.
For 2 tuds.
He really went up to their head coach and was like, "You have to pull me."
He's like,
"I can't throw 6 touchdowns. I'm sorry."
Yeah, Riley Hennessy said, "This is disrespectful that I'm even having to play this team right now."
Oh.
Goodness. So yeah, our Fiasco Player of the Week award goes to the entire Cologne Centurions team. Because there's no, I went through some of the other teams and stats and stuff. And, like Jake Sullivan, he had 2 interceptions, but he also had 2 touchdowns. And, at least Berlin put some points on the board, and it wasn't an 81-point loss.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can give some teams an excuse. You can give Fairvar an excuse. Their homegrowns just aren't at the level as other countries.
Cologne is in Germany.
Cologne's in Germany. If you can't find American football players in Germany, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, you're telling me that you can't go poach a bunch of dudes from the GFL right now? Honestly, you could take a GFL team, just drag and drop, one of the top GFL teams into the ELF, and they would be better than the Cologne Centurions.
You are right, but I'm going to burst your bubble. Import rules are different.
Still, though, you're telling me that you can't go poach a bunch of GFL players?
Just go take the best Germans. It's not hard.
Not hard at all.
If Prague can turn their team around in one offseason, why can a German team not?
And you want to know how Prague turned around their season? Better imports.
Imports.
Imagine that.
The more I think about it, the more I really like the Reddit post Tanner found about giving bottom teams more imports. I think that would be great for this league.
Well, right now, I don't even think that helps Cologne. I think Cologne's just incompetently ran.
No, but giving Farivar a couple more imports,
I think that would help tremendously.
They'd sneak a couple wins here or there.
Yeah, make them a little bit more competitive. Because truly, like at the end of the day, I don't even blame Cologne's quarterback for having such a shit J because, again, he was sacked 8 times.
It's hard to throw when you're laying on your back.
Yeah, like sacked 8 times, which, I know that we don't do like QB rushes or anything like that as a stat in this league right now, but that tells me he was running for his life.
Yeah.
That 8 guys were able to get to him and bring him down before the ball got out of his hands. That is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we won't, we're beating a dead horse with the whole Cologne thing.
True.
But let's talk about the outlook for next week's games, because I think that there's going to be some good ones and also some blowouts.
We get 8 games this week. No bye weeks. Everyone's playing.
Everyone's playing.
I think first time since week 1.
This is the first, or after this week, we will officially be halfway through the season.
That's so sad.
I know. It is. But week 7, we can just go through these directly. We have the Madrid Bravos at the Hamburg Sea Devils. Do you happen to have the Bet365 line for that?
So actually, the Bet365 lines don't come out till like Friday. But I'll pull up Mr. ELF data.
Okay.
He does his own lines, so we'll have lines.
Well, while you're doing that, I will just shamelessly plug one more time. Bet365 is currently doing bets on the European League of Football. You can check them out at signupexpert.com/fiasco. Place a $10 bet. If you win something, it's because of us. And if you lose, we have no legal obligation to it. So,
bad juju. Better luck next time. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry about you.
But Madrid Bravos at the Hamburg Sea Devils. Second game back for Michael Leone. Rematch of week 1. Lines at +1 to Madrid.
Give me the over on that. I think Madrid has figured out some things offensively that they didn't have in week 1.
Their offense is much more polished.
This is a much different team than the team that Hamburg upset. So
the only thing that scares me, though, is the 2 running backs for Hamburg. They can run the ball. Yeah. You know who can't stop the run?
Yeah. I mean, again, we've seen that the game plan for Madrid all season is put up a fuck ton of points. And if you don't put up a fuck ton of points, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
And so I will say I do think that the likes of Sinet and Shank and Seelig and all those guys can put up some points. So.
No, yeah. I'm going to go Madrid as well. I just like their offense better.
I presume you're taking the over because it's just a point.
Yeah, it's 1 point, nothing. But what is wild is the division, the South Division, that Madrid is sitting above 500 in 3rd place.
God, the freaking South Division, dude, is just brutal.
Yeah,
I'd hate to be a part of it personally.
No, yeah. I mean, you could say the same about the West. I mean, Frankfurt's sitting at 3-3. You got 3-2, 4-1.
So with this game, are you thinking that it's at least going to be close, though? I think it'll be, probably another high-scoring affair because
I feel like it could be like a 10-point game because I really think Hamburg's just going to control the clock and just run and run and run. Yeah.
And I think, Hamburg has been kind of falling off a little bit in the past few weeks. They're really looking for a dub right now. So I wouldn't be surprised if they gave it their best shot, kind of in desperation. And again, to your point, Madrid can't stop the run to save their life. So, I could see it. Yeah, I'm with you. A 10-point game. I'd be very pleased if this were a 10-point game. I think that would make it very exciting and would be good. Good for the league. I hate using that term, but good for the league.
It's a new league. You need some bright spots for the league.
Yep.
But what probably won't be a bright spot is the Wrocław Panthers at Fairvarn Throners. Coming off a bye week. Got some new A imports-ish. I don't think they've announced them yet. We'll hear them soon.
That don't move me. What's the line?
No, plus 31.
Oof.
I feel like that's really high.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the under. I see it. I'm not saying that they can't. They probably can.
Well, I guess in their first game this year, the Panthers won 55-12.
So what's that? Oh yeah, I guess that's winning by 43. God, it's just such a big line.
It's so weird. We're not used to that here.
Mm-hmm.
But 31 is doable.
Yeah. So, you know what? I'll give Fairvar some respect and take the under and say that they're going to make some improvements. They're coming off of a bye week. It's a home game. Not like they're going to have fans there, but it's a home game at least.
I'm sorry, Nico and Petra. I am going plus 31 over with Wrocław. I don't see DJ Irons slowing down at all. He could be up by 50 and he'd be like, let's no huddle it.
Yeah, so when he goes off for 7 touchdowns and no interceptions, are we going to give him the big dog of the week? No, we're going to skip over that.
Yes.
All right.
No Fairvar, no Helvetic.
Yeah, we've got to stop doing that, unfortunately, which sucks because it's so hard again with those awards of you see a quarterback that drops 6 touchdowns and you're like, they deserve the big dog award stats wise, on paper. But
I could throw at least 4.
Shoot, yeah, I could probably throw at least 4. Next on the list, we have the Helvetic Mercenaries going into Copenhagen. Face the undefeated Nordic Storm, 0-5 against 5-0. Jadrian Clark might drop double-digit touchdowns.
If you're playing ELF fantasy like us, I am number 8 in the world now. Ooh. Pat myself on the back. I am the highest ranked insider now. Matt and Alex have fallen.
Ooh, talk your shit, Daniel.
I took the Jadrian Clark Botella Moreno combination last week.
I will be taking that as well, and probably Bolu if I can afford it.
And yeah, he started off weak. He had 1 catch for -4 yards in the first half, but ended up with 100 and something, but no touchdown.
Yeah.
But if you're playing ELF fantasy,
load up on everything Nordic.
You might want to take Clark and Botella.
Literally, just anything that you can afford with Nordic, just do it. Just do it. Yeah. And whatever you can't afford from Nordic, put into Wrocław. Yeah,
right now.
Or Paris.
I'm currently building my roster still, but I have Cruikshank, Botella, Clark, and Bo. Apparently they call him Bo, the A import wide receiver for Nordic. So
like that.
Yeah.
All right, next on the docket. So these are now the Sunday
over under 49.
Oh, right. Oof. Yeah, I'm taking the over. Yeah. There's not honestly, Helvetic will be very fortunate if they score 10 points. They will be very fortunate to get
They scored 12 week 1, but that was also with the Nordic Storm defense looking Now they look
Yeah, and that, it's also a brand new team that had never taken the field together. So, yeah.
And away. That was rude looking back. It was like, here's a new team. We're going to send you to
no, that's initiation, baby.
That's fair. It's send them to Rhine.
That would have been wild.
I'm taking the over 49.
Yeah, I'm taking the over. That's wild. And I feel very confident in taking the over.
Yeah. All right, next game, Rhine Fire coming up with a hot win. They're catching fire.
And they will be facing off against the Berlin Thunder, who seems like they have lost their thunder. So, this one's extra funny. What's the line on this one, Daniel?
39.
Okay, I'll take the under on that. That seems a little high, just because Berlin does have a decent offense at times.
Yeah.
I think that they score I could see them scoring 12 or 17 and, at least being on the field long enough that Ryan doesn't score more than 40,
No, yeah, I agree. I like Ryan, but I'm not taking the 39.
No, yeah, seems a bit excessive.
Yeah.
Prague Lions. I'm excited for this game. Prague Lions at the Frankfurt Galaxy. Prague gets to have a chance at doing the impossible here, where the Galaxy will be very desperate to win.
So they have never played each other before.
So we have nothing to look at.
If you were to guess this line, what would you say?
I feel like they probably did something outrageous just because Prague's name's in it, and historically speaking, Prague has been incredibly bad. So I'm going to say it's something stupid like 35.
You're saying like 35 to Frankfurt?
Yeah.
What about +7 to Prague?
Ooh, I like it. I don't agree with it, but I like it.
I am loving the Prague love, but I am.
Yeah.
Frankfurt is a playoff team. Prague is not supposed to be a playoff team.
Yeah, no, I think Prague gets a reality check this game. Frankfurt knows that they really can't lose any more games for the rest of the season.
Frankfurt cannot lose maybe one game for the rest of the
maybe one more game for the rest of the season. So they're going to take this very seriously. I think Frankfurt has a better team top to bottom than Prague. They should be able to take care of business.
Yeah, Frankfurt has been tested.
Yes, they have played nothing but good teams.
Stuttgart, Madrid, Paris, Nordic, Paris.
And they've won 3 of those matchups. And that says a lot. And they've kept it close in some other ones. And so, yeah, no, I'm gonna take Frankfurt with that one. And I think that this might be a statement game for Frankfurt to be like, hey, we're not dead yet. So.
No, but looking forward, they might be dead in a couple weeks.
Oh, sure, because their schedule is brutal. It's a crime.
Centurions, Nordic.
Yeah. Aside from the Centurions game, it is a crime what is going on
in Frankfurt
with their schedule.
If they finish like 7-5, holy cow to Frankfurt. Good job.
Yeah.
But Prague's going away. I think Frankfurt's fans are going to come, like, pull up and show out. Mm-hmm. As much as we love Prague, we do love Prague.
We do love Prague, and we love what Prague is doing. Prague is on an upward trajectory.
They are
doing the right things.
Expectations.
They have become a respectable team. Yep. They are a competitive team, and that is all you can ask for Prague. So,
but I am taking Frankfurt.
Yeah, and I'm taking them by like 17.
I don't know if I'll do 17. Prague's defense is actually pretty good.
They do have some ball hawks on that team, and McKay is normally good.
They've only given up 83 points.
Really? Well, but the teams that they've played.
Frankfurt's given up 178.
Well, again, the teams that they've played.
No, yeah. Frankfurt has scored also more points than Prague.
Yeah.
But
fine. I won't be quite as disrespectful. I'll say,
hey, a 3-game win streak. Good job, Prague.
Hopefully
it continues. Hopefully you prove us wrong. But
I would be thrilled to see a 4-2 Prague team. I would be over the moon.
Would we buy a jersey?
I might have to.
All right, 442 on 624.
Yeah, let's remember that.
Hey, the Prague GM. I forget your name, but I know you follow my private account on Instagram.
Yeah,
send us something.
If y'all win, I will buy a jersey.
Yeah, at least they have sick jerseys.
Well, they also have a great logo too.
No, I was just want to say in Tanner's words.
I want them to be good so bad because they have such great branding.
Yeah, you can market this well. You can. It's beautiful. So much as I miss the orange and blue because we didn't get to see it.
Nah, dude, I like
that red and silver. Red, silver. Clean.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
All right, that takes us to the Battle of Austria, Part 2. The Vienna Vikings will be going into, what is
Innsbruck.
it? Innsbruck. I almost said Brunswick. Innsbruck, thank you. We'll be traveling to Innsbruck to face Raiders Tirol. What is the line on this one, Daniel?
+17 to Vienna.
Yeah. I think, I see them winning by about 20. I think that Raiders Tirol will make it a little bit more respectable this go around, but I just think that they're just not as it's such a little brother beat down. It's so unfortunate.
It's like you hand your brother the controller, but it's unplugged.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate because I wish that the Battle of Austria could be competitive and, be more of a back and forth thing.
It was before the ELF. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I think that it's just hard with, the E import and A import rules really handicaps Raiders Tirol because Vienna does have better recruitment. And, the local guys would rather play for Vienna. It's a bigger metropolitan area. It's more access to a lot of things. Innsbruck is kind of out there. Yep, rings, those matter. And so, whenever it comes to the homegrown stuff, there's only so many in Austria, and they all go to Vienna, the best ones. And so, what can you do when you're Raiders Tirol?
You need to start bribing people a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm taking over 17 with Vienna. Bounce back game. Ben Holm's about to go to work.
Yeah. Next on the docket, we have the Paris Musketeers traveling out to Cologne to play the Centurions.
I don't wanna.
What's the line on this one?
I think they cap it at 49. So this one's 49 as well.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah. Paris, this can be just a fine.
I'm going to just spam the over. You know what? I might actually place a bet this week through Bet365. I might have to. Whatever that line is, I'm taking the over.
Yeah.
Jalen Henderson is going to look like GFL Jalen Henderson when he had 9 touchdowns that one game.
Yeah, he might be throwing double-digit touchdowns.
I hope he does, because I would like to have another dark horse for my MVP conversation. And so a 4-2 Paris team with, Henderson maybe inflating his stats a little bit. I could pull some narratives with that. Because I'm not a real journalist. I just like to stir up shit. That's really all I'm here for.
Hey.
But at least I admit to it,
Isn't that what Americans do is we just stir up shit? So what is the difference?
Oh, especially our journalists. What do you mean? That is...
Yeah. Welcome to American football.
Yeah, at least I'm honest in the fact that I have little integrity. Last on our docket is the Stuttgart Surge traveling out to Munich to face the Ravens. I'm quite intrigued by this game.
This should be a good game. Two stout defenses with decent offenses.
Well, the thing with Stuttgart is, with the whole decent offense, you can tell that they have little to no interest in running up the score against teams. The amount of times that we've seen Riley Hennessy get pulled at halftime and blow out games to not inflate stats. Like, if Riley wanted to, he could be more in the MVP conversation and inflate stats against some of the bad teams that they've faced. But yeah, in the games that I've watched, I've noticed, one, they are pulling him and other starters at halftime if they're blowing teams out.
They are letting their backups in.
Yes.
Right away.
And two, man, that is a bland playbook. And I've seen Stuttgart have some exciting shit in their playbook, and it really seems like they're holding punches back.
They are not showing anything.
Yeah, I think that
Riley Newman won one thing at the end of the year, and that is a ring.
Yes, and so I think that they're reserving their playbook for some harder times.
They don't care if they stroll into the playoffs with 3 losses.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen. But
it's not going to happen. Maybe 2.
Don't care.
Maybe. But
they only care about winning the last 3 games of the year.
Yep, and they would rather be nice and fresh for that, which I can't blame them.
Especially this playoffs. With the likes of Paris, Munich, Vienna,
Dude, I will
Frankfurt, Madrid.
There have been some rough blowouts this year, but I think that the top 6 to 8 teams, it's going to be a bloodbath in the playoffs.
I was saying this before. I think almost every playoff team has beaten another playoff team this year.
I think you're right. Yeah, because if we go through,
Paris beat Stuttgart. Stuttgart they beat someone, right? They had to have.
Well, games. Here we go. I should probably do teams, right?
Yeah, Stuttgart beat Frankfurt. Rhine beat Vienna. Vienna beat Rhine. Frankfurt beat Madrid.
Yeah. crazy times.
These playoffs are going to go wild.
Where are you getting the standings?
There's a tab going to the games section, and then there's a red tab next to show week.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it shows point differential and everything.
Yeah.
But it's in Munich too, and they're 3-0 at home.
Yeah, and
Stuttgart's 1-1.
And Stuttgart definitely, took their foot off the gas the last time that they played, and Munich made a sizable comeback and made the game a lot spicier than it needed to be. And so, Stuttgart, this is not a game where you're going to get to sit Riley Hennessy in the second half. This is y'all gonna have to play.
Munich should come out swinging.
Yeah, I still have Stuttgart winning this one, but
yes,
Munich is going to
probably take the +5 line. But Munich doesn't want to be the little brothers to Stuttgart. They're close enough in location that they don't want to be the Raiders to the Vikings.
And man, that brother Tabor, whew, can he slang that thing?
MVP,
dark horse, baby.
Rookie of the year.
Oh, definitely. Well, no.
We got Reed Sinet, Aaron Cruikshank. Rookie of the year race is its own article.
Yeah. Well, it's just so funny with like Cruikshank and Sinet, those are probably your top two for rookie of the year. And they're both older guys. And so I hear the word rookie and I think about Tabor, who's 22. And I'm like, yeah, rookie of the year. And I'm like, can we start saying that like rookie of the year should be like anyone under 25, that it's their first season?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you're someone who's gotten NFL snaps, i.e. Cruikshank, you shouldn't be allowed.
And Sinet.
Yeah. And Sinet. Yeah. Y'all should not be allowed to run for rookie of the year.
But hey, rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year is going to Madrid so far. Like that's you can't. And
there's I don't even think that there's a chance for anybody to catch up unless something, I'm knocking on wood here, unless, injuries happen.
Something happens, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like that Torre Spiller race last year. Like, it was just neck and neck all the way through.
Yeah.
Who's going to get the rookie of the year? Who's going to get offensive rookie of the year?
Okay, but at least with them, they were young rookies,
They were actual rookies.
Yeah. Versus, again, the two guys that are going to be 1 and 2 for the offensive rookie of the year award have played NFL snaps. That's not fair. Have played multiple years in the NFL. That's not fair. They're grown
Cruikshank didn't. Sinet did. He got to learn behind Tom Brady and Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa.
Well, Cruikshank was in the NFL more than 1 year, wasn't he?
I thought he was just a practice squad or like a training camp guy for the Steelers for like a couple weeks.
Cruikshank, NFL. Do. What's his first name?
Aaron,
that's right.
Aaron. Or it might just be Aron.
I think it's just Aron. Yeah.
But while you're looking that up, let's talk about fantasy. We said just kind of hammered the Nordic Storm guys, but also if you don't like Jadrian for whatever reason, you could go Jalen Henderson and the Paris Musketeers against Cologne. Or what we've been doing is hedging the defense against Cologne's offense. Last week that worked out for me pretty well with 40 points for the Stuttgart defense. So you could take Paris's defense.
Also, Aaron Cruikshank is 24. So okay, I don't feel as bad. For some reason, I thought he was like 28 for some reason. I saw an interview with him and he just seemed older. So maybe it's just that NFL media training,
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So, okay. If he wins offensive rookie, then that's fine. Sinet's like 28.
Sinet could win MVP.
Yeah. Sinet's that's a grown man.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Do you have anything else to touch on before we end the show? We actually made good time today. That's incredible. Wow, look at us.
Who are your 6 playoff teams so far? Halfway through the year.
Well, okay. I'll go through the obvious ones. Nordic Storm, Stuttgart Surge, Vienna Vikings. Munich will win their division most likely, so they'll get that fourth
Munich's
spot.
going to win the South.
I mean, I think so. Yeah, Madrid's schedule just sucks, man.
That's fair.
You know, like it's nothing against them, but I also think that Munich's a more complete team. The Bravos have the better offense for sure, but I think that the Ravens have a pretty decent defense, whereas Madrid's defense is boo-boo. So,
but there's your 4. Who are your wild cards? You got Paris, Frankfurt, Rhine, Tyrol, Madrid, Prague. Out of those 6,
I'm going to go Rhine. Rhine's going to figure out a way. Somehow, some way, Ryan's going to get in there. Oh, man, that last spot.
You only have 4-5 teams to pick from. It's fine. You got Madrid, Tyrol, Frankfurt, Paris, Prague.
And I'm going to go Paris for that 6th spot. Yeah.
Yeah, these playoffs are going to be brutal.
Dude, that end of season playoff race is going to be nuts.
What's wild is Vienna and Paris play each other weeks 13 or whatever, or week 14 or whatever it is.
Well, who knows? Maybe, because Vienna is very clearly going to make the playoffs. Maybe Vienna will be nice and just be like, hey, yeah, we're not starting Ben today. There's no reason for him to get hurt. With
3 teams currently at 4-1, that ain't happening.
Yeah, I guess so. But
they want the bye week.
It's fair, but Vienna is going to win the East. No matter, they're going to win.
But just because you win the division doesn't mean you get a bye week.
Although, who knows? Maybe Vienna drops one more game, and it's just not going to happen against the Nordic Storm. Maybe the Nordic Storm just went out because they just seem unstoppable. Jadrian Clark seems like the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean, Vienna does play Wrocław twice and Paris twice. We have lost Jordan. He's frozen in time. That's good old hotel Wi-Fi for you. But, yeah. So look for the playoffs. Yes, there's going to be blowouts and yada, yada, yada. There is parity. It happens. But you have the good teams. If you're looking forward to just the playoffs, you'll have the playoffs. I don't know what to say now. I'm just rambling. Jordan's bouncing in and out trying to figure something out. But on that note, unless he comes back right now, nope, he's not back. I will say goodbye for all of us here at Fourth Down Fiasco. Once again, check out BetStamp. Lines, I think, come live if you're in Europe for the ELF on Friday. Place some money down. We know some people that won quite a bit of money already, so get in while you can.
Well, I like school, and I like football, and I'm gonna keep doing them both because they make me